as we get started here, we can see it's severely red. And if you've been following along in Tom's Army, if you're in the Telegram, if you are in my Facebook page, which I highly encourage you, there's a link in the pinned comments here where we're approaching 8,000 followers on Facebook. I put a lot of comments that I can't do on YouTube because there's no point. But I do a lot of things on Facebook that I started utilizing in the last couple of days and weeks where I can legitimately get on here and just post stuff like what's happening here. I put some of it in the Telegram as well, but not everything is vital for that because some of this is real world stuff as well that I like to talk about. I like to put a lot of silver stuff with the treasury and a lot of stuff like that, and like Japan with the yield. So when I wake up in the morning, sometimes when I have time to kill before I take my son to school, I go through a lot of stuff across all markets. So I highly encourage you to follow my Facebook. It's highly restricted. Like they don't recommend my page. So they don't recommend it. So I think it's extraordinary that I had 14,000 views yesterday. So it's starting to get out there. The previous 28 days it was doing great, but they hindered it. But your voice, when telling the truth, always gets out. So especially when it's relevant. So make sure you follow Facebook, because when I'm not on YouTube doing the videos, that's a great spot to go get my text, because I don't like X. So I just do it on the Facebook. I didn't know I was going to get to almost 8,000 followers, but it is what it is now. So now it's worth mentioning. With the market, another thing, in the pinned comment, make sure you download TOOBIT. I've been literally playing this market, and I was in Linnea yesterday. When it got rejected over the top, I got rid of it, and now I'm going to play it back and buy it at 2.4. But I've been testing out, not just with Linnea, but same thing with ZBAC, getting in and out, sold up. Now we waited for the back test at 4.5 like we talked about yesterday. And now it's decision time. Is it going to hold 4.5? Is it breaking out early? Because right now it looks like we've cleared that stochastic out. So I encourage you to join TOOBIT. There's a lot of rewards up to $6,000. Right now I'm closing in on the $500 reward. And it's based on trading volume. Obviously leverage, you would get it quicker. Spot, every time you buy and sell, it adds your, total trading volume. But the fees are minimal. Like, I'm still in shock. I'm a little shook. So I'm going to send more stuff over there so that I can kind of play this market the way I want until it's, for me, time to kind of sit still, not like a spazzed out kid, because I feel like we're still early. My anticipation is the second week of November, as I've been saying, maybe the first and the second, but October, even when we had that correction, I said it gives the illusion of going up, and then the rest, you have more of a correction. I still believe second week in November is going to be the parabolic zone. If it lingers longer and we don't get it, then we're going to have to wait until the mid Q1 of 26. But I do believe November brings parabolic moments. We need this drop. So because it's on, so that was on TOOBIT. On WeX with IOTA, it's the same deal. I've been playing it the same way, up and down, left and right. And because of what I thought Ethereum was going to do, I'm trying to look at this and see where we can either buy things for the first time or reinvest in things. Maybe this is the part where we're going to get defeat. This is where everybody's going to say, what the it was supposed to go up. It could only go up. We're only supposed to go up. But we know there's a CME, a gap at 110 in that big liquidity zone at just over 111,000. If you're in the Telegram, please pay attention to the Page or X section, because I did share this information this morning before I got on YouTube. Obviously, I'm just getting on YouTube now. But while Ethereum was up 1.2% this morning, over 4,740, I shared this for a reason. And we've got liquidation at 4th. And make sure to hit that like button. I need you to hit that like button. More and more people need to come in here. More and more people need to come in here and hear the actual honest-to-God truth. Otherwise, you're going to get caught up in all this nonsense. We're not quite there yet for the other alts. We're trying to get to mid-November. We're extremely overbought in the wrong time frames and a lot of things. ZBAC needs to clear out, but it's at that zone because of a breakout where it's perfectly hitting the back test. So we're going to see how that plays out, or it's going to come back into the consolidation until mid-November. Late October to early November. Let's just put it that way. So when I actually took this information, when I seen this, it was at 4,697 was Ethereum. But it was showing that cumulative liquidation at that 4,089 level was a very hot zone of 10.19 billion. And there's a few exchanges that are, more of the demanding exchanges that might catch the attention. But then the cumulative liquidations for Bitcoin, and this was at 125,344. It shows 111,211. There's 15.37 billion. I don't care about it going to 110 because we know there's a gap down there around that area. So it fits perfectly to come into here. And that's 15.37 billion. So we got to pay some serious attention to these liquidation zones. But on the converse part of it, I think this is interesting that the S&P has launched a new cryptocurrency index encompassing 15 cryptocurrencies and 35 crypto-related stocks. I think that's an interesting development that's going to continue to develop. Tesla we're watching. I thought it was a little early yesterday just because it's overbought, but I'm watching it to buy when it gives me the positioning. The only reason I thought it was overbought is look at this, not in the daily, but watch the weekly. It's insanity up there. So at some point, this is going to have to correct. And if it does correct down to because I think the whole robotics thing is going to be big. So we have the cup, we have the handle. So now what we want to see is a little dip in the handle, more than likely, if this plays out and it so basically it filled this out. Now we'd like to see, or maybe even farther. We don't know how much it needs to dip. Maybe this comes into something like this and it rolls out. We don't know because we have an uptrend. We have what looks like a rising triangle, right? So I don't think this is a rising wedge. I think it's more in a rising triangle. And generally it's going to need more consolidation. So I think that gets us maybe even down to about the 280 level. But could we agree? No, would we agree this is a rising triangle? Let me fix this again. I think Tesla's in a rising triangle. I know it's like, what the fuck's he talking about Tesla for? But it's because of the robotics thing, not because of the EV. I think the EV is the disguise of Tesla. And anybody seen iRobot and Terminator and all that? Unfortunately, that's Tesla, and Elon Musk encompasses everything within this. With Neuralink and everything, we're in trouble. So we might as well invest in it when it's at the right time for the robotics push in 26. It's going to happen. It's the AI integration into robotics. And it's not cool, but we might as well get rich off of it. So much like crypto, how we've been able to move from 4 to 6 in the figurines, if you've been watching and doing what we do. So we're trying to get a projection here. I'm trying to line this up so you can see how it kind of mashes in. Okay. So that's what I want you to focus on, like that. Don't so much focus on the extreme bottom areas or the extreme top. Just focus in on the fact that it seems to be an ascending triangle pattern that will end up like this at some point. Which means we're looking for the fact that if this is a resistance, resistance. Now, support. It's messy, but just think we have to come somewhere into that range. So not to get a perfect number, but maybe somewhere around $300. So I'm watching this very hardcore because rising triangles are super bullish. I don't think this is a rising wedge. I really don't. But who knows? I don't know anymore. But they pump so much money in and out. But I do think we're having this little shakeout, and it's not just going to be these markets. It really isn't. So I'm going to put Tesla where it belongs, up in the top part of this equation, because it's got to go above the metals because it's part of the stock market. Dolly Varden, did we not have a great call selling it when they announced the common shares? Even though it's a good thing, and we talked about how the buyback will have, because it's undervalued, I figured it might come down to 436 at minimum. So, and it's way overbought in the weekly, so It makes sense. This could be where the commodities have a hardcore shakeout, a retracement. You don't know. We need what we really need is a line of sideways movement for like a month, and gold and silver to clear out the overbought scenario. But again, as long as they keep lowering rates and doing quantitative easing and printing money out the yin yang, it's so bullish for gold. Gold doesn't know how to stop. Now it's almost at 4,000. In the futures, it's over 4,000. So it's one of these things, man. The robotics. Does anybody know any tie-ins in robotics and crypto besides like AGI? Some that are in the smaller levels. If you do, I encourage you to make a comment, send me an email. But yeah, I got so many comments to go through now to try to get through this. I'm going to do my best. But as we can see, we're falling right now. We're falling, and unfortunately, that 295 didn't hold. Now it's up to the next level would be around 285. But there's a lot of opportunity right now. Watch this market. If it goes down, and I've been sending a lot of information on all the different a lot of the information I send is through here, though, on the lives. You know, in the shorts, I can only do the short-term price analysis, but because I try to do it in 60 seconds, you know, the attention span of most. But in the lives, we have so much information. There's just so much information. Right now, the market's begging for a downturn. Begging. Even though we were trying to break out, it's begging for that pull down. We're so overbought. Even Ethereum, even if it doesn't come down to that $4,000 liquidity area at 4,080, after having these breakouts, you would expect at some point a retest. And yeah, it could go straight up to 5,300, which, I mean, if it does that, hallelujah. But we do have these liquidity zones we always have to worry about. Now, we're watching ZBAC to see now after a 7% drop today, now that it's in its support structure after a breakout, and this would be considered a volatile retest because it's not just 7%. From over the top, it's been a pretty wicked retest now in such a short amount of time, in less than 24 hours. You're talking about it's come down about 15%. That's a wild retest. Now, is that a reversal candle in the daily? That's why I encourage to buy before the breakouts, take the profit, and wait to see if it takes the back test. Because technically the apex isn't until the end of the month. So if it falls back within, it could come all the way to 3.8. So perfect opportunity for that 25% gain. I've been very honest about this. And somebody asked me yesterday, do you own it? I said, not technically, because I'm riding it back and forth, and not just because I'm testing out TOOBIT, the liquidity part of it, which is blowing me fucking away with how, like, there's basically no, it bothers me that, how can I miss certain exchange? But then again, TOOBIT just started to reinforce with the USA, so I guess, yeah. So anyhow, but for XRP, I said XRP, this is going to sting in the title. Bitcoin targets long liquidations near 11K, Ethereum $4,080. So there's some pain at the pump here for sure. For sure, but look at XLR over the last 24 hours, but it has come down. Don't think it's up 9.7%. That's because it's USDT. That's just cumulative where it was at from before the price rallied. So don't think that they're just way up there, but they're oh, now it just redid it. I was going to say that was yesterday in USDT. I didn't want anybody to think that it was way up there. That's why I said it says it's up there, but it is not up 9 point. That's what it was at yesterday when it ran up. It just hadn't, for whatever reason, reset on that page. But that's where it went, from there to there. So, you know, we're still not there yet in a lot of ways. We're not. We need to get to mid-November. This is the same thing that happened last year. I can't wait until mid-November. And this year in the U.S., don't we have midterm? We have some kind of midterms and stuff this year, so they're going to want it to look good towards the end of the year, I feel like. I think this is the drop before the rip. We need this drop. I've been very on point about XRP that I wish it would have had a little steeper drop, but we're getting close. All I can say is we're getting close. And everybody who's patient and who's buying these in the proper formations and who understands what's happening and you're being and setting your due diligence, it's gonna be a very profitable. I feel like mid-November, we're gonna have like a 5 or 6 week window, maybe 5 weeks, where it's just gonna be really explosive. It depends where you buy it from. If you've been in this market for a long time, like a lot of people are buying this now, even with some of the other ones. Think of it. Like I know IOTA, it's sexy to buy it at 18 and 19 and 25. Well, now it's more sexy at 18, but I know it was sexy at 25 and 30 because of where it was at. But remember when this cycle started, it was at 9 cents. So even now it's doubled up. So you got to remember, like when you're buying it at 35 cents, unless it's the next point of the push, all you're doing is riding it as exit liquidity. And that's what's happening to a lot of people. Don't let that be you, please. I beg of you. I beg of you. And hit that like button. Only half of you have hit the like button. But let me say hi to some of you. Did I even say the intro yet? I'll find out after I say hi to everybody to see what everybody says. Crypto Cooter, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor, along with Oliver Marks and Defined Group. Defined Group and Crypto Cooter, very trusted mods in here and in the Telegram. Morning to you both. And Defined says, hey everyone, hit that like on the way and consider subscribing and joining Tom's Army for the best technical analysis on YouTube. If you are not in the Telegram, you're missing out. I agree because it's definitely transforming into a even more vibrant community. It's interesting and more informative. Mark Cass and Ben B, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Kyle Bessany, welcome in. Win Moon. Well, I've been thinking mid-November should be that first sign. Second week in November, hopefully it plays out. I'm hoping we don't have to wait for the start of this reversal, the actual big time reversal, until Q1 into 2 of 26. But I can see the most parabolic time frame happening in that stretch of Q1, maybe towards Q2. But I think we're going to have this signified turnaround by mid-November. First or second week. I do believe that. Unless this falls off out of its ass. But for us, it's going to be, where does it fall off to? Because that's going to be the big buy. I've got so much money on the sidelines right now, it would make your head blow up. If I said that I was this far out instead of in. But everybody who watches understands why. Two Ravens, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP 589 Moon Badge. Joseph, welcome in. Arelli, good morning to you. Very long meeting. Hopefully they won't notice the headphones. Oh, well, I commend you for not ignoring the meeting, but watching while the meeting's going on. It does make the meetings go by faster when you don't have to listen to them. Did I say that out loud? Dan Marginal, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over three months with the XRP Meteor. Let's see. Oliver Marks and the Cannabis Podcast, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor. Anthony Venegas, Eddie Lance, Mario Louise Willamese, welcome in and is the #1 top fan in this segment. What a spectacular name as well. Excellent. We're only 18 minutes behind real time now. I'm catching up fast. Mosey here, welcome in along with Kyle Kupiak, Cape Cod. Kyle from Massachusetts. Thank you both for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So badge. Mrs. Stott, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 2nd month with the Dusty's Autos Crypto News. So blessed to have you in here each and every day, usually. It's awesome. James, welcome in. Waste of time, not only dollars, too bad for XRP. Oh, yes. Such a waste of time. Such a waste of time. Maybe don't look at it as a waste of time, but look at it as a golden opportunity that you found yourself in here this morning, James. And not in some blissfully unaware community. Just pay attention, man. I'm going to line you up for the next great move for you. I'm just not going to, filter you into some nonsense so that you will subscribe to my channel or pay me to do it. It's patience. I've been preaching the same message since January, so mid-November. Everything else is a bunch of sideways, up and down tomfoolery. All the world stage welcome. But I always love those comments. Waste of time. Not only dollars. Too bad for our XRP. Too bad. Just, oh, too bad. Mike B, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty Dollars Crypto News. All the world stage, thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 3+ months now with the XRP Meteor. Cape Cod Kyle says, oh yeah, Tom just purchased a house in Florida now. What are you going to do? But I live in Massachusetts. Huh? Oh, you son of a gun. Remember how many times I said Cape Cod Kyle was from Florida, like in the beginning when he first joined? Look, I was foreshadowing his move. Now, did you purchase a house in Florida because you wanted it into the Matrix, put it into your mind because I kept saying you lived in Florida? That is something we will never be able to answer. So welcome to my Matrix, Mr. Kupiak, and now you have a house in Florida, as it turns out. So I am technically vindicated. He is indeed from Florida and currently lives in Massachusetts now. He lives there, but he also has a house. The great Matrix once again at it. See, God likes to laugh at me in those ways. He's see? Just a tad bit early like usual. FCD, welcome in. It says if XRP don't break 4 and 26, I'm out. I understand. But at least you'll be able to see that, hopefully, the great move. Otherwise, we're going to go into the most severe crypto winter we've ever seen. So you're not wrong. I laugh because you're actually not wrong saying that. Even if you're saying it from an emotional standpoint, you're absolutely not wrong. And it actually tickled me a little bit that you said it. McMichael, good morning. Along with Craig Carlson, thank you for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. G-String said, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Says, thank you to whoever gifted me the membership. Greatly appreciated. It was either me, because I gifted 10 memberships after 1970 Legend gifted 10 memberships, which we didn't know we could gift memberships. They had eluded our community for the first 2 years of when they allowed it to people. But if you're a member now in Tom's Army, you can in fact gift memberships to other members if you so diligently want to. It's a nice way to pay it forward. You can do it 1, you can do it 5, you can do it 10. Me and I did it because 1970 Legend, I thought it was a cool thing. He donated 10, so we'll say 1970 Legend, G-String. We'll go with that. Mr. Stott, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Says, I'm hesitant to admit it, but I bought a Model Y, and it's the most ridiculous spaceship I've ever drove. Best performance vehicle I've ever drove. Also, no, I'm not a greenie weenie. It's pretty good. Pretty crazy. Let's have this discussion in 10 years. If you don't have to, well, if you don't have to buy the whole shit and caboodle. Let's just say, well, let's just hope everything goes good. Mike B says, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for the second month with Dust House Crypto News. And I don't disagree. I was driving in a truck that was a EV truck, and when I say it was quiet and it had like the most unbelievable torque that not torque, but I guess torque, but the way it fucking flew, I was like, holy fuck, it was in an Uber. I got in, I'm like, man, this thing doesn't even sound like it has an engine. But it's that 10 years. What does it do in 10 years when that's the problem? I don't know. My dad and old Vincenzo worked in the Tesla dealership. I mean, in Tesla, out in California when they were back in 2017. Maybe it was a little earlier than that. No, it was about 2017, 18, I want to say. My dad probably a little earlier. But they were working on all this shit back then. I remember all the stuff they were going through. Let's see. Charles, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Gold, silver, XRP, Tom. Perfect 3. The trifecta. Mrs. Watson, welcome in. Lori Watson, welcome in. Thanks for being in here consistently. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a blessed start today. I'm glad to see you in here. Always makes me happy to see your name, I must say. Ben Graham, good morning. Not to say it doesn't make me happy to see everybody's name. Let's see. AUW says Serve Robotics. Serve does AI stuff with NVIDIA. Ooh. SERV. I'm going to have to let my cat outside. SERV. This is good. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I want to know. Because now I can look at some information. Let me know if I look at the right one. I got to go let my cat out. My cat's going to give me an aneurysm because it won't stop meowing. Come on. It's raining though, cat. Really going to go out in the rain? How about I give you food inside? Yeah, no, you're not going outside. So you can have food inside. No, you're going to stay inside. Yeah, I know. It's hard. There you go. Get some food inside. My cat's like begging you to go outside, but it's raining. I don't want you to go outside. Not when it's raining. Just put that there for now, just so I don't forget. Because we got a lot to talk about, obviously. I'm just trying to get through some of these comments as we watch the market shuffle out here a little bit in the morning. We're going to find ourselves in oversold condition, the back test at some point, even if it's a drop. Let's see. Scotty Trade says 261 will be a good buy next. But yeah, that's why I keep saying we could be doing the 5 waves down. That's why if we didn't break out and invalidate a 5-wave move down, that's what we're in the midst of right now. And it would line up pretty good depending on how big of a move. You could get us right down to that 262 area for sure, or 261 area, Scotty Trades. I agree with you though. Tesla announcement today also, I did not know that. But Elon Musk did share as well, speaking of Tesla, put it on my Facebook yesterday. I shared his tweet. Where was it at? Right here. He put this on here. So what is going on with... I don't want to put the music on because they'll probably say, oh, it's copyright. But what's going on here? But the cup and handle, like we said, is playing out. Maybe it drops down a lot, but it does seem like he's hinting at some kind of forward projection here. Tesla's down 1.24% today after about 5% yesterday. We talked about it at about $449 and change, so it's down a couple dollars from there. But we want it to come down more. We want this to clear out. There's no doubt about it. Gold is telling us something ain't right. It's telling us something ain't right. There's something not right in the world. And isn't it funny that the government voted 5 times yesterday and didn't reopen? 5 times. 5 times. They don't want to go back to work. It's not like we're missing anything. They don't do anything. Matt Grimes, welcome in. Danilo, Rick, welcome, and thanks for being a very trusted mod in here. Jordan English, good morning. I think we're going to have further down, so we'll see, though. Ken Sanders, I reside in the 52nd state, the permanent U.S. aircraft carrier known as the UK. Good morning and welcome in, mate. Well said. Well said. Tom, did Julie ever get her XRP back from Uphold? That would be a no. Those thousands still sit on Uphold. Yeah, she got over 9,000 of them when she withdrew them, but not her. But she doesn't own that all. She took those profits and we ended up putting that into what she had there. That ended up going into other things now. She doesn't even dabble anymore in any of it. She just has her Dogecoin and she doesn't have any crypto exchange. She has her Robinhood that she's had. She never put $1 into Robinhood though. She had a stock that turned into Dogecoin. You guys know the story. But no. No. Mike, it stings when you pee. That could be several things. Several things. I'm also in Florida. Tom, if you ever come to Tampa, come on down, brother. Hey, if I'm ever in Florida, I think it would be a great time in Florida with a bunch of people. There's a lot of people I know in this community that are in Florida. I think we could have a great time. The house in Florida is just a tax shelter. Hey, I think you know what you're talking about. I think you're on point. Even Cape Cod Kyle from, let's see, Massa, Florida. I think that could work. see. The sky is falling. I know a lot of people say the sky is falling. Ronald Grump, welcome in and thanks for being in Time Zone for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. Shane, welcome in and thanks for being in Time Zone for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. D. Rojas, good morning and thanks for being in the Time Zone for the first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. I hate the damn run, guys. Oh, man, I remember my first year having to listen to all that. They don't even come through my feed anymore. I think I said I'm not interested so many times they stopped sharing it. Those were some common criminals. They were the ones who had everybody buy Moon, what was it called? The fuck was it called? Safe Moon. They told everybody they were going to get rich. And these people, and they were amongst the... Remember when I said there's good money and there's bad money? And some people get paid to show their community a bunch of bullshit that is going to wipe their life savings out. These guys got paid a lot of money. A lot of money. A lot of tokens to push one of the biggest crypto obvious scams in our... one of the biggest scams I've ever seen with how they pushed it. And yeah, they keep bringing back different iterations of it in different ways. But it went down so much. Oh my God, they raped people. And they got rich off of it. Now they got V2. They've got all this other bullshit on Solana. The point is, anything connected to Safe Moon's a pile of shit. No matter what iteration it is, no matter when they try to do it, you will always find yourself down 99%. So they took all this money and they had their whole audience do all of this. They got paid. I showed because Safe Moon tried to pay a whole bunch of different people. And when I only had a few thousand subscribers and they're wanting me to promote it and they're offering me ridiculous amounts of token for something that ain't worth shit. And they actually promoted it with a bunch of people and got it to move up to a proportional spot because of the tokens they held. Not that they had to buy it, but they ended up making it. You know how it works when they do this kind of stuff? Hey, we made this buy. Well, what ended up happening is all these influencers simultaneously sold it when it hit the agreed upon price. And yeah, that's how you lose generational wealth. So yeah, I don't respect them. And they're still on. They are still on to this day. I would bet my bottom dollar they are. Let's go back to the Run Guys Safe Moon stuff. But I can almost guarantee you that they're on still. They're probably trying to wipe themselves from this fucking pile of shit, but... Are they even on here anymore? Did they rename themselves? I don't know. Whoops. Run Guys. Did they rebrand themselves? No. When you gift it, it's only 1 month. There is no obligation. You don't... There is no... When I did it, there's not even a choice for you to continue. It's up to the person you gift it to continue it after. Yeah, where's the Run Guys at? What happened to them? Did they change their name? What are they, the Bull Runners now? I don't understand. Are they a different name? They completely wiped their part of the history. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's scummish. The cool thing is, though, from Google, you can't quite do that. March 28th, 2021. Wow, I remember that when it came. Oh, my God, I remember when they were doing this. The amount of people that lost money on that, it's still perplexing to this day. It's still perplexing how somebody can have that much overreach. The only logical conclusion is that it's like it's a collective effort. But there's so many people that lost it all. It pisses me off, actually, to be honest with you. Wow, the Cannabis Podcast sent 1 XRP Future Millionaire gifted membership. Holy shit. John Hall. Oh, perfect member. Welcome back into Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Or the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. Wow. I forgot about Safe Moon for a while. There's still an old wound there because it bothered me so much that so many people were about to get killed, and they did. You can go back and look at the Google articles now. People are like, what happened? How could it go? I don't understand. It was promised. This was a guarantee, blah, blah. Even Dave Portnoy, and I was begging him. I'm like, listen, asshole, you're telling your audience to buy Safe Moon because of all these losers that are probably paying you endorsements. When XRP's sitting here at 30 cents, you dick. Buy XRP. And I put it in there, and then I got a response from somebody on his team. I only had like 7,000 subscribers. And they're like, yada, yada, yada. As much as we like it, we don't buy speculative tokens, or you don't have the, I don't know, I didn't have a big enough audience, and they didn't buy, and it's like, you don't buy speculative, you're buying fucking Safe Moon. Are you kidding me? That's the most speculative pile of shit. Not even speculative. There was no speculation. There was shit. You didn't even have to speculate. Safe Moon? Safe Moon. That's like more like the moon safe. That's the safe keeping you from the moon. It's a perfect token. It's the Safe Moon. It was actually a moon safe. You put all your money into the moon safe so you couldn't actually go to the moon. It's safely in the vault of liquidation now. All right, Ghost, you can go outside. You really want to go outside that bad? Okay. I guess you really wanted to go outside. Everybody got moon, that's for sure. The wrong direction. And there was the amount of retail that got hooked into that was unbelievable. And I don't even have a big enough voice now to make a difference, but back then especially. I mean, I do, but I don't. XRP falling out of this is not a good sign. This means we're going to 285, which also being in that zone, it keeps you. Now look at this. This is why you have to look at this. We broke down out of this. So now the technical target out of the short term, it's not going to be 271 or 268 right off the bat. Man, we built ourselves back into this formation. This is where it gets a little tricky. Because now we're going to have to back test 278 because we took the down route. So, and because we have a 5-wave movement, if you go by the Elliott waves, because we had 5 waves up, now you go 5 waves down, it should bring us back down into these areas. Like, we're early. We're still early. We're still early. And it's like every time it goes up, it's further heartbreak because then you got to watch it come back down. But at least we still have these patterns intact. If it comes down to 278, we're fine. If it breaks down past 2, and now if we go into real time, there's like 266, you can find an avenue to 228. If this actually fell through and you use that as the breakthrough, you could find an avenue all the way back down to, I'm not saying $1.38 because I don't believe that avenue exists right now. I believe this avenue exists though. No, not this one. What happened here? That's not even right. I had this out for the $1.77 area. Oh, that was the speculative. This is the opposite. This is the speculative wave. When it broke out from here, okay, I see what we did on this chart. Well, we can't change it because it's there for a reason. So we'll have to go back. We've got the uptrend. That's when we go farther down. Ooh. Yeah, so we're going to want to, it's in our best interest to not come down, especially if we break down past, at worst, we're not going to want to come past $1.77. Or at least wherever it ends up trickling into here. We could trickle into that $1.50 gap. But we got a long ways before we come down there. There's a lot of stuff in between. So instead of confusing everybody, just we'll look at the most relevant area right now. Right now we broke past 295, and now we're looking at 278. Especially if it takes a day or two to get here, because this will put us out in a Wednesday, Thursday-ish. We're looking at 278 if we break this down. Fair? And then it still hasn't invalidated the overall inverse head and shoulders even, because you've got left shoulder, head, right shoulder still forming. So, you know, it very well could do one of these and then bounce out and still be not invalidated. So I'd say somewhere between that 262 to 278 range, because we don't know if it's going to hit 278 and fall. But because of how far it looks like Bitcoin and Ethereum could come down, if they do clear the rest of the $500 for Ethereum and Bitcoin comes down to next $11,000, I mean, you're talking about a nice 15% and a good 11, 12. I mean, you're looking at a pretty... It could very easily get XRP to 262 is all I'm saying. Very easily. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We have to get past. We didn't go far enough down. So this area is going to come into play. The area's back here. So when you start to elongate this, and we only go by evidence, something like this, we're tweaking down like this. This is what it's forming into right now. So rejected. So now you start to come back in. And as long as you stay within, parabolic breakout. You break down. First area is 228. Second area is around 177. Catastrophic breakdown 130 and then 118. So, but it looks like a nice consolidation right now. It's been going on for a while. So we just got to wait this. We're getting more evidence. We're getting more sustainable stuff. No fear, we're ahead of their time. They sure were from the 90s and 2. I remember them. That was in my middle school. Elementary to middle school and transitioning by around 2000, because I graduated in 2002. I ended up in high school. So you go through all three phases in that time period. But yeah, it's not good this morning. Doesn't look good this morning. Wonder how emerging markets will do, just because the rest of them, they're delayed though, so you're not going to be able to see this until the end of the day. Apparently it doesn't want to show me them at all. Usually it'll at least show me the price. What's going on, Trading View? We're a little slow here this morning, are we? But yeah, while I'm here, ZBAC is back testing right now. Is it early? Possible. Because I don't think with the rest of the market, we'll see. So daily, way overbought still. Reversal. So it's probably in its best interest to come down here, like we were talking yesterday. But understand that it could bounce. That's why we have to be very transparent here. Because it can bounce. Oh, son of a bitch. It hit that one. I was going to say that's why it looks weird. So, yeah, if it comes down here looking at that 3.8, and then it's going to uptrend a little bit. But, I mean, 4.5, it's right where we're at right now. We're in this area. We just put it like this so that it can consolidate out for a day or two, improve it. But it needs to hold this area. Right now, it's coming below. Like, we have to look at it. It's coming below. Way oversold in the 3-hourly. Way oversold. But this is where it can start to fall out. If we had a little bit of a liquidity drop here, then it would be a nice bullish push again. Daily's still looking good in the MACD. It was pushing up, but it's probably going to start going back the other direction if we don't get some kind of reversal. Linea, we're coming down to 2.4 whatever with the way this reversed. And with the escrow dump, it failed to get over 2.9. So like we said yesterday, we played it up. If it failed to come up, you just sell it and wait until it comes to 2.48. And then you can make a decision if it's going to come down below. You could hold it to 2.48. You can do whatever you want. It's up to you. Your portfolio, you do whatever the hell you want. But yeah, we can check out IOTA too, because we're starting to get thin on time here. I think band, while we're here, band should come down. If the market allows it to, it should come down. And maybe it comes all the way down to 52. I still want to see it come down and ultimately have this breakout moment. Maybe it's not in December, but maybe have some of this momentum here towards the early part of November. Maybe it comes all the way down. Maybe it just rides the backside of this. But I expect it to be somewhere around these levels. So I want to see this play out. It needs to clear out. The daily needs to clear out. 4 hourly needs to clear out. Weekly can come back down, and it's going to find itself in a fantastic spot. But a lot of this looks like we're going to get a pretty serious dump here. So don't be surprised if you get a serious freaking dump here. Please. Don't be afraid of it. Like I always tell people, don't be afraid. Understand what you're doing. Understand what you're buying. Oh, yeah, let it drop. I think I would love to see it drop here. And then you can keep playing this. You know, you buy stuff, you play it the way you want. And then when it gives you the opportunity, you know, you can take profits in these short term, but you got to be on exchanges that aren't going to kill you in fees. That's all. You know, that's the secret. You can't be getting hammered with fees. But yeah, that's basically that's the bottom line. If you're going to be getting in and out, you the biggest problem is a lot of the exchanges. There's too many fees. You know, there's too many fees on a lot of the exchanges. So it's so hard to avoid it. It is. And I understand that. That's why I'm not like, I'm more of, when you're buying a position here, you know, you kind of, you don't want to be buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. You kind of want to be finding your spot where you're going to hold. Does that even make sense to anybody? Because the buying and selling, the buying and selling, the buying and selling, especially if you're not in depth in the charts, you're never going to be able to find your areas. You're better off waiting this out instead of buying and selling in all of these areas. You're better off waiting this out until the market shakes out and we get that pull down. The market's overbought. It doesn't matter how much we love the market. And I know some of you even bought band at 62 cents when it went down, where we bought it on Kraken again. You can get rid of it and try to wait it out if you're afraid of making the pull down. You made $400 or $500 on 10,000 tokens. So what? You have to sell it and wait it out. That's your prerogative, especially if it's going to make you nervous to hold it. Like, don't give it back just because you're afraid of missing out. If you feel more comfortable being on the sidelines and you can actually watch this play out, there's nothing wrong with it. You're allowed to do that. Even if somebody says that is not it's your portfolio. Nobody's ever going to go broke making money. So, you know, just understand your risk tolerance. You know, who cares what somebody else's is? If you don't have the risk tolerance, who cares? Like, seriously, if your risk tolerance isn't there, if somebody else is telling you to buy something, you're going to go broke. It's just like the guy who goes to the casino with his friend. He doesn't have a lot of money. His friend's got a bunch of money. And his friend's a big-time roller. Well, when he goes to the casino by himself, he might bring $300-400 and spend the money, right? And the money, he's fine with it. That's what he can afford. But when he goes with his friends, maybe he's bringing his house payment. Maybe he's bringing thousands of dollars. And now before he knows it, he spent $30,000 out of his savings trying to go with the flow. Well, it's not affecting his friend because of his income. He's got this and that. So if you're trying to stay up with the Joneses, it's not going to work for everybody. It won't even work for me. I can't stay up with the Joneses. I'm too not in the loop to be up with the Joneses. So I have to do things my own way. You know, that's the bottom line is I don't do anything by the conventional means at all. So, but I'm comfortable in what I do. So I like to watch the market shake out. I like to watch these moments of high volatility. I like to have a lot of money on the sidelines when we're overbought. I like to buy when we're undervalued. So yeah, there's that. There's all of that. That's everything I like to do. So that's the best I can put it. Sometimes I talk in circles, but it's because I'm trying to get a lot of stuff out at once. So, IOTA real quick. Yes, I can look at IOTA down 4.2%, and it's got a hard fall coming still. We've got to have this. What it looks like is we're gonna have to come back down. We are way overbought here. Reversal here in the daily. It looks like we got to finish out this dot cross and come back down and re-clear out this area. Maybe even it just doesn't feel like the right time. Even on these pushes up, what's the big thing we've been stressing? No volume. So another full moon, coincidental drop. Coincidental indeed. So let's see if we clear out this liquidity. If we clear out the liquidity, we are going to be looking great. But it's the areas we've fallen down below it. It gives us the illusion now that we're going to come down to these lower levels. 295 would have had to hold for XRP. The daily needs to clear out rather substantially. The weekly is going to come back down. It should all meet in that oversold. Monthly might end up in the midterm, which is fine. If everything else goes down below and oversold and this stays at neutral, we'll cook. That'll cook still. Daily will come down quick, though, if it does this for a few days. It'll come down quick. But the whole market looks like it's in trouble for a day or two. Well, let's just try to get to November. Try to get to November and have some kind of liquidity. And try not to lose it all, is what I'm telling my audience. Just try to get to November, for the love of God. If you can get to November and you can find the liquidity drops here, because Ethereum is talking at that 4,100 level, let's just call it. And Bitcoin, let's just call it at that 111,000 area. That's where these liquidity zones are trying to speak to. What was it showing 289 on? I don't understand. Why is it saying 289, but it's showing 290 on the screen? Look, it's acting real strange. Trading view today. Is it not acting strange? Like it's not updating properly? I don't understand. Yeah, look at that. It wasn't updating properly. It was telling us the price was higher on the screen right here, but on the side it was showing the chart going down. Yeah, I mean, we're busting down past, and this would be a quick drop. This is where you could get 10, 15% pretty quickly if it ends up going down this route. I'm just saying. So yeah, find your areas, understand the liquidity zones, and just find the area that's best. It's better to buy on red than green, obviously. IOTA, we were talking about, we just showed it. It's within this short-term consolidation. It's still very much stuck within this area that it can never seem to get past. This should actually be more like this. Because I like it resistance over the top. In the weekly on the wicks, and then it hits it right here in the middle. Because until it gets... Now, I suppose... To identify... You know, maybe that is better. Honestly, maybe that is better. Come from the lower structure. Because then it makes more sense why we keep getting rejected like this in these areas. Okay, I like that. It's not a big difference. Subtle nonetheless, but I like that a lot. It kind of gets you in the same area. It actually gets you in the exact same area outside of 0.2 of 1 cent. So we're going to get rid of this 18 cent in the middle, 17 right there. Just let this do what it's going to do here. Because it looks like it's going to come down. The whole market looks like it's trying to come down here. But, I don't know. We'll see if it plays that direction. Just keep your eyes open for opportunity. Just keep your eyes open for opportunities and quick reversals if they come. Understand the liquidity levels. Because we did have a macro 5-wave move up that we just finished, so we're starting the 5-wave move down, it seems like, so that should culminate. It could culminate a good 15% down. Obviously, we've come down some already. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you're interested in trading on an exchange in the USA, where in the future I'll have copy trading if they ever approve it. But it's the lowest spot in leverage trading fees. I've been blown away. It reminds me of how enamored I was with BitUnix when I first started, until they started going away from the USA and such. I still have money on there, but less and less each day because TOOBIT is a legitimate replacement. And I got all these bonuses that I can earn by trading, so I might as well just trade while the bonus is available. Up to $6,000, depending on how high of a volume trader you are. But you don't need to have a KYC or VPN. There's a lot of different tokens. And it just, to me, it's been a game changer. Don't forget to join Facebook. It's also in the video description below and our pinned comments. No, when you gift a sub, YouTube randomly selects it, but it's not a member who's a current subscriber. It doesn't mean that they couldn't have been a past subscriber, but they can't be a current subscriber. But it does it completely randomized. Like, we can't pick it. But yeah. So other than that, just, you know, be blessed. I hope you join Tom's Army and join the Telegram. If you got a gifted membership, take advantage. See why you should continue in Tom's Army, and take a look at the Telegram now that you can actually get the link in the membership tabs on YouTube on the post section. So be blessed, everybody. It's been an honor and a privilege.